Yo, what is up you guys? I'm back with another video, and today we are working on the E30. We're actually going to be throwing in some new injectors. I've already gone ahead and taken off the hood just to give me a little bit more area to work with. I went ahead and actually pulled out the fuel rail already. You can see I got a couple of things laying around here, like the electrical wiring for the fuel rail and a breather hose that connects to the valve cover. Pro tip, if you guys want to remove your fuel rail off your E30 without pulling the intake manifold, unbolt your valve cover, take that off, and that gives you the clearance to get it through. So I've got it on the table already. Just need to throw the new injectors on with the new fuel pressure regulator, and we can throw that bad boy back in here. So the injectors that we're going to be throwing in the car are actually stock injectors from CA Tune. These are rebuilt injectors. They take the whole thing apart and put it back together with new filters, new nozzle components, new O-rings, and these things actually look really, really good compared to the old injectors that were in the car. That is a pretty big difference to me. I'll leave a link in the description down below where I got these from. As well as the injectors, we're going to be throwing in a new fuel pressure regulator. To get the old injectors off the fuel rail, it's actually pretty straightforward. There's these little, almost like C-clips. You press on either side and they'll pop off, and at that point you can just remove the fuel injector. It may be a little tough, but that's because the O-ring has been in there for a long time, assuming your injectors have never been removed from the car before. I'm going to use some lithium grease just to kind of lube up the new O-rings and help them slide in a little bit easier without mangling them or tearing them up. So just a little bit, not a lot of grease. I'm actually going to smear it around on my fingertips. We're going to do this to the top O-ring as well as the bottom O-ring. And at this point, you can just slide the injector in the rail. And it was just that easy. Getting the old ones out was pretty difficult. Putting the new one in, pretty straightforward. Now we just need to do that to all 6. I got all 6 new injectors put on, as well as the new fuel pressure regulator, and with a fresh coat of paint, this fuel rail looks really, really good compared to what it did when I first pulled it out of the car. Now it's time to go put it back in. Putting the fuel rail back in the car is the same process, just in reverse order as taking it out. So I'm gonna see if I can get some of these wires and hoses up out of the way and take off the valve cover. I got the fuel rail maneuvered past this air hose and through the valve cover here. I'm to the point now to where I need to press the O-rings into where they sit. Might be a little tough. I think what I'm gonna do is put the valve cover back on and find something soft to use up against the fuel rail and kind of like pull and make a lever to try to push that back down in, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get my hand in here enough to be able to apply the amount of force it takes to push those O-rings into place. Even with the grease on, it's still a little tough. So I'm gonna try a big flathead screwdriver, and I'm gonna wrap a towel around the end of it. Hopefully that gives it enough cushion when I go press down on it that it doesn't bend or dent the fuel rail. Right there. And then all I'm gonna do is kind of pull up on the screwdriver, and that's gonna press down on the fuel rail and hopefully move those injectors into the seating position, and it looked like it did. So I'm just gonna move down the fuel rail. Let me see, I might be able to show them. So you guys might be able to see the little yellow part of the injector right there as I pull up. Slid right into place. I just need to bolt the valve cover back up and put this air hose back on, put this wiring harness back on, reconnect our fuel lines to the fuel pressure regulator, start the car up, and hope for the best. All right, with everything connected, everything buttoned up and put back together, there's only one way to find out if I did it correctly, and that is to start it up. Now I am expecting a little difficulty starting it on the first key turn, because there's obviously not any fuel in the lines. It needs to cycle through, pressurize, do whatever it needs to do. It's not wanting to start at all. So I actually found out what the issue was, and it was the first thing that I thought may have been the problem. The two lines that run right here, one of them has fuel that runs through it that's supposed to go into the fuel rail, and the other one is supposed to come out of the fuel pressure regulator. I thought I had them on correctly, but apparently I didn't. I went ahead and cracked this one loose and tried to pull off the hose, and it started spewing out fuel. Not a bad thing, just knew that that was not supposed to be at that spot. So I'm gonna put a few towels right here to try to collect as much of that fuel as possible and pull this hose off. And all we have to do is just switch it with the other one, and that should be the problem. And this hose should be completely dry whenever I pull it off. Yep, completely dry. But we're just gonna reverse how we put these on and try again. One last thing to do is to take her for a drive, make sure she's all good. Just need to throw back on the hood real quick so we're not going down the road with a wide open engine bay. Don't notice anything right off the bat, but it's only stock injector replacement, so I'm not really concerned. I'm just gonna go fill up some gas and take it for a rip. So the car is running great, but unfortunately it did not fix the issue that I was hoping to solve by installing new injectors. It's taking more than one key turn to turn the car over. It has crank, and I believe, or I thought that it was a fuel issue, fuel pressure not being, where it should be. I've already done the fuel pump. I've now done the injectors, the fuel pressure regulator. I've checked the fuel relay and actually replaced it with a new one. I'm not gonna rule out altogether that the starter is bad, not yet. I do want to maybe pick up another one and throw it in the car just to see. I want to leave you guys with a little bit of a goal. If this video gets 100 likes, I know that's not a lot, but to a new channel and to me, that is a lot. If this video gets 100 likes in 1 week, I will do a burnout for you guys in a separate video in the E30. Do the best I can to light up the rear tires. The brakes aren't that strong on this car, so I'm not sure how well I'll be able to hold it in place. 100 likes, 1 week from the day that this video is posted, I will do a burnout in the E30.